Happy New Day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm doing this video because I would like to clear my energy and bring some balance to the adrenaline that I still feel moving about within me. It's very important that I rest well tonight and go to sleep with a positive outlook on situation that I put myself in. So some of you all may have seen that I went live earlier, and I felt really good doing the live stream, and afterwards. I can see that spontaneous movement to do the live stream was very necessary for me today on an energetic level. I got into a car accident about an hour and a half ago. And yeah, my energy is still kind of high. But I would like to go to sleep because I know that I need to, but I just need to express myself. And because this situation is directly connected to the live stream that I did earlier, I feel that it's important that I talk about it openly while I'm still, kind of like in the energy. And just really express some different perspectives outside of what most people would look at it as. I reflected on how, when I was speaking with Celine in the live stream earlier, how I talked about my way of accepting the fact that anything can happen at any given moment with anyone. And I specifically said that, I could not be here tomorrow. That, anybody could not be here tomorrow. That is possible. And I was just thinking of, like how much it would suck for some of you all out there who actually, you're fond of me a little bit. If that was my last video, and the situation that I experienced earlier tonight, was worse than what it was. It was just really something to think about. First of all, I don't celebrate holidays. But I chose to go to some family members' house after the live stream. My mom went, and I went because of her. Last year, I said that I was going to go, with her to a family member's house for one of the holidays. And I just didn't. My body just didn't move to go. I really didn't want to anyway, so I don't know why, I don't know. But I just remember, a energy of disappointment when my mom came back in, and I was just like still there, just like chilling, enjoying, the house to myself. Um, and I feel that, that probably lingered, and I was feeling so good after the live stream that I didn't have any resistance in going. I was like, hey, I have got my energy for the day. I got my satisfaction. I'm good. I can go into any environment and nothing's going to affect me. And that's exactly what happened. Like, I was balanced, I was grounded. Um, Even though I was definitely different, as far as my energy, compared to everyone I was around, hey, I was okay. I really just, it was cool. It was a good experience. And I knew that, we would probably be leaving late. And the only thing that, I was just there. And hey, whenever my mother's ready to leave, I'm gonna follow her back to the house. So I was very much at peace tonight. Um, no, no frustration, no resistance. I mean, I was good. Um, I remember 3 different times where I thought about just going home and just going my separate way and just going home. But my body didn't make a move. My body was like, no, you need to, just follow your mom, follow her home. Like, it's late. Just follow her home. And I do have a natural protective energy, in certain environments and situations. So it wasn't an issue. So when we left out, um, she didn't want to drive off right away. She, yeah, she wanted to sit in the car for a little bit. So in that moment, I was like, that was like the second time where I was like, okay, well, I could go ahead, but then my body just didn't move. It's like, no, wait. um, so she texted me and said that she wanted to take a slower route home. And when I saw the text, I didn't care. I was like, okay, whatever. So I'll just follow you. And I'm just looking at the timing of everything. And I was completely operating on her time. My whole movement was based on her time. And I asked myself, was I going against my higher, my inner authority and my higher judgment? Was I operating based on my mind, or was I operating based on my body? And when I look at it, my body chose to, follow her and not go my separate, faster route back home. There were 2 times during the drive where my mind thought about how I could just go the opposite way and get home faster. But my body was just not, it just would not disconnect from following my mother. 2 lights before I have this car accident, my mother's at the first car at the light. I'm right behind her. A car flies through the red light. I mean, this car did not care. Whoever was driving did not care. They weren't thinking about any consequences. They flew through the, and it wasn't like a light getting ready to turn red. No, we were sitting there for a few seconds, like at least 10 seconds. And this car comes out of nowhere. So it knew that it was gonna run this light. And I said, oh, wow, okay. But I'm still in my peaceful state. So 2 lights down is a light. It's an intersection that is notorious for people trying to hurry up and make the left turn when a light turns green, when a left arrow turns green, because it's only green for like 3 seconds. So everybody that knows this intersection is like, you have to hit the gas, you know, and like get the light, because if you don't, it's a red light camera. So again, my mother's the first car at the red light. I'm right behind her. And, you know, I'm not in a rush. You know, it's not many cars on the street. I'm listening to some high vibrational audio in my car on the ride back home, and yeah, I'm in a good place. The light turns green. My mother, she's not one that hits the gas. She's driving Miss Daisy. You know, she's not hitting the gas. So I'm not hitting the gas. I'm not in a rush. She takes her foot off the brake and starts to accelerate to make the turn. Before I could even take my foot off of my brake, my body's flying forward because I'm getting hit from behind. All I know is that I'm out the car. Like, my body moves quick. And I just know that I was out the car recording. Like, that's how, like, I can't even think of the time frame in between. And I'm laughing. Like, I'm laughing as I'm recording, because I'm like, how did this happen? We've been sitting at this red light. The light just turned green. Nobody's rushing. Nobody's speeding off. How did I just get hit like this? Look at the back of my car. Oh, man. Oh, man. My poor bumper. I look at the man who hit me. All I see is eyes just like stuck. And I'm looking at him. I'm laughing like, how did you do that? How did you do that, sir? How did that happen? How? How did you do this? He doesn't have anything to say. Bumper is done. It's done. Somehow, the left side of my bumper gets hit with the right side of his front bumper. How did you do that, sir? How? We were sitting here. we were sitting here at the light. And how did you do this much damage to my car? Like, how? How did you do that? His car was like halfway in the street. So we pull into the parking lot of the fast food restaurant that was right across the street. There's a man who was at the bus stop who saw the whole thing, and he took it upon himself to get involved with our situation. So the man gets out his car, and I saw it immediately in his eyes. Sir, are you intoxicated? This young man is intoxicated. He doesn't even know what to say. He just has the I'm busted look on his face. And I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because it's like, I don't even know how to be mad. I really didn't know how to be mad. So he's just standing there. He doesn't really know what to do. And I'm just recording. I'm like, as long as I got your license plate, you know, your face, you know, let's exchange this insurance information, please. So of course, you know, my mother, she recognized that I was in an accident. So she came on into the parking lot, and you know, this man from the bus stop, this guy, spiritually, I know what he was. I know what he was. He added so much extra aggravation energy to the situation. I had some visions. I had some visions of being really mean to him. But I kept laughing. I kept making sure I expressed laughter out of my throat because I wasn't angry. You know, I knew like, okay, I'm fully covered. You know, you're clearly in the wrong. And amazingly enough, I didn't even want to call the police. Like I did, you know, I looked at him and I knew how much trouble I could put him in. I didn't know if he had a family, you know, or, you know, I didn't know his situation. And, you know, he was actually kind of frustrated with me. So he gave me a lot to where I could have been like, look, bro, I can really put you in a situation and have the people that neither one of us want to see in this parking lot. Because I don't want to deal with them either. But you got an attitude and you trying to justify. Yes, he was trying to justify why he hit me. First he tried to explain to me in his drunken state that there's no green arrow at that light, at that intersection. And I immediately, because I'm ready to come with I'm ready to come with facts. We're still here. Like we can look at the green light, the green arrow right now. You're trying to play mind tricks with me right now. It's not don't do that. Please don't do that. So then he tries to explain how, you know, that light, you know, everybody that knows this light knows that, you know, it's a quick light and, you know, you got to go. We got to get through this light. And I'm like, sir, my mother was in front of me. She's 73 years old. Like, you didn't even give me the opportunity to take my foot off my brake. before you're ramming into me. You cannot justify this. Look at my car. And also, how did you hit me from how did you hit my left bumper from the right side of your front bumper? Sir, you're intoxicated. But I'm still not going to call the police. I'm going to let you go. But we'll handle this the right way. I'm glad you have insurance. So when I really thought about it, and I looked at how everything went and how I was on my mother's time, it became clear to me that I was interference. If I wasn't following her, her timing would not have changed in her whole drive, because I was behind her. So she was driving on her own timing, which means that he would have ended up hitting her because my car wouldn't have been there. And when I saw that for what it was, I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep, because it ties into what we talked about in the live stream, and even the day before, well, yesterday, I spoke with a friend of mine about this whole entanglement with our parents, and feeling this need to take care of them, and feeling like this obligation to be there for them, even when you want to do your own thing and you don't want to really be entangled in their lifestyles and the ways that they do things. And yeah, all of the whole situation was just simply because of my tie and my entanglement with my mother, and this definitely is not, like blaming or, any type of victimization, nothing like that, because at the end of the day, I'm anything that happens, I'm like, okay, why did I do this? I'm taking responsibility because I know that I put myself in the situation. But just to see how deep it is, like to see that it wasn't just something random or, oh, there are some people that are yelling very loudly outside. Let me pause this because. Okay, so yeah, those people argued for like 15 minutes straight at the top of their lungs. This Thanksgiving energy is really something. Every year we see it play out. But as I was saying before the pause, it's just interesting to see, the connection, that is so deep, um, with our parents, and how we just, yeah, it's just a very deep connection. Um, and there's so many angles that I'm looking at this, but the fact that usually when I find myself in a, I guess, a negative or lower vibrational situation, um, I can look back and say I saw the red flags, or I saw where I didn't listen to, my inner guidance. Um, but with this situation, there was nothing like in the way. There was nothing, there weren't any moments that had resistance to where I ignored it. It was just like I was really in the flow. And being in the flow and following your body doesn't always mean that you're only going to experience positive things, I guess. Um, because even with this situation, I don't even know if I can look at it as negative, because I'm not hurt. My airbag didn't deploy and bust my face up. My car was drivable. It wasn't any rattling or, wobbling or anything. It's just my bumper is done. But the dude who hit me, I could have possibly, interfered, not just with him hitting my mother, but maybe later on down the road in his drive, him hitting somebody, and maybe causing a worse situation. Like it's so many different trajectories, and I know that it happened for a reason. And I'm still at peace. Like, I'm sitting here like, dang, I can't even like think up anger, if I wanted to, because yeah, everything's taken care of. Um, so I definitely had opportunities to get into like a energy draining yelling match like these people across the street a few minutes ago. Um, like I had the opportunity to experience all of the things that I warn other people about, and all of the things that I'm aware of through human design and through intuition and through just kind of knowing the bigger picture of things. Um, and this allowed me to see, I guess, where I'm at, where my awareness is when it comes to applying it to a situation. Because you can be in front of your computer, you can be at home in a peaceful state, all day. But it's only when you go out there and interact with different energies and different scenarios that you really get to put what you've learned to the test. And this definitely was a test that I laughed through. Like I laughed. And I was able to look at this man in his drunken eyes and not be upset with him and not want to call the police or anything. And I remember the older versions of me and the quick levels of anger and frustration that would usually come over me and completely just take me out of my ability to be coherent and balanced. And it's not to say that, you know, that can't happen again, but for a situation like this was my first accident. Like I've never had an accident to where I've hit anyone. I've been bumped before to where there was no damage, but this was like the first like real accident to where I had to like exchange insurance information and everything. So it's almost like a joke that it happened Thanksgiving night when I should be the last person outside. Like I know some of you all are like, you're the one that put out the code behind Thanksgiving video. What were you doing outside on Thanksgiving night? Yeah, I'm still human. But I'm glad to be here because I know that the way these energies are flying around right now, there are people that are not going to make it through these Thanksgiving energies. There are people that have already not made it through these Thanksgiving energies. And yeah, my situation could have just been way worse than what it was. So I'm expressing my thanks and my gratitude, and I'm just glad that I'm learning. I'm learning from all situations that happen in my life and finding ways to make everything purposeful and make everything something to learn from. So with that said, I hope you all gain something from my experience. My adrenaline is now, you know, balanced out, and I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm good now. So thank you all for tuning in and watching For Your Mind to Shine. Until next time.